Something unusual is happening around Prince Harry right now, and it is not just one headline or one isolated story. It feels like a series of separate pressures are building at the same time, all converging into a single moment of intense public scrutiny. A legal defeat, renewed criticism, and fresh questions surrounding his charitable work have all started circulating together, creating a situation that is difficult to ignore. And the question many people are now asking is simple. Is this just another difficult phase in public life, or is something bigger beginning to unfold? To understand why this moment feels so significant, we start with a legal battle that has followed Harry for years. After a lengthy and highly publicized dispute over his security arrangements in the United Kingdom, his final appeal has now been rejected. This means he will not automatically receive the same level of taxpayer-funded police protection that he once had as a working member of the royal family. This case has never been short or simple. It has stretched across years, involved multiple hearings, and carried a deeply personal weight. Harry has consistently argued that his concern is not about privilege, but about safety. He has maintained that when he returns to Britain, he wants to be able to bring his family without feeling exposed or vulnerable. However, the court reached a different conclusion. Judges ruled that the current system of case-by-case assessment was lawful, and there was no legal justification to restore automatic protection. In practical terms, the appeal has now come to an end. What makes this moment important is not just the ruling itself, but what it represents. It highlights how much his life has changed since stepping away from official royal duties. Whatever expectations may have once existed, they no longer apply in the same way today. Reactions have been sharply divided. Some believe this is simply the consequence of a decision he made years ago. Others argue that his security concerns deserve greater weight given his global profile. As always, the public response reflects two very different interpretations of the same outcome. But while the legal story dominated headlines, another discussion began building in the background, slowly gaining attention online. This time, focus has turned to the Invictus Games, the international sporting event founded by Prince Harry for wounded and injured military personnel. The Games have been widely praised for their emotional and psychological impact, offering veterans from different countries a chance to compete, recover, and rebuild through sport. For many participants, it is described as life-changing, a place where resilience matters more than limitation, and where shared experience creates a rare sense of unity. However, recent conversations have raised questions about the financial side of the event. Reports and public commentary regarding overall costs have triggered debate about how budgets are structured and how funds are allocated. Some argue that large international events naturally require significant funding due to logistics, travel, accommodation, and accessibility requirements. Others believe that greater transparency would help address growing public concern and speculation. Before we continue, if you are finding this breakdown interesting, make sure you are subscribed to the channel. It really helps, and it means you will not miss future updates as this story continues to develop. Because there is another layer to this situation that has also started attracting attention. Discussion has also emerged around African Parks, a conservation organization associated with Prince Harry. The organization is known for its work in protecting wildlife and managing conservation areas across Africa, and it has received recognition for its environmental efforts. However, allegations raised by external groups regarding conduct within certain protected areas have led to calls for closer scrutiny and clearer responses from those connected to the organization. These are complex situations involving governance structures, local teams, and international oversight. Supporters argue that large conservation projects often operate under difficult conditions and should not be judged solely on isolated reports. Critics, however, believe that individuals associated with leadership roles have a responsibility to respond more openly when serious concerns are raised. This difference in interpretation has added further tension to an already highly scrutinized public profile. And when you step back and look at everything together, a pattern begins to emerge. It is not one single controversy driving attention, but several overlapping discussions that feed into one another, amplifying the overall narrative. For some observers, this is simply the reality of being a high-profile public figure. Every action is examined, every decision questioned, and every association becomes part of a wider story. For others, it raises broader questions about accountability, transparency, and public responsibility. What is clear is that attention surrounding Prince Harry has not slowed down. If anything, It has intensified, with each new development adding another layer to an already complex picture. And perhaps the most important question now is not about any single court case organization. It is about how all of these separate stories come together in the public imagination and what that means going forward. Because when narratives begin to overlap like this, they stop being isolated headlines. They start shaping perception itself. Whether this moment becomes a temporary wave of scrutiny or something more lasting remains to be seen. Public attention can shift quickly, and reputations can change direction just as fast as they are formed. But for now, one thing is certain. The conversation surrounding Prince Harry is not slowing down. It is expanding. And the next chapter is already being watched closely. If you enjoyed this video, make sure to subscribe to the channel and stay tuned for more updates as this story continues to unfold.